Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Chemical Engineer. I hope you will like the video. So like, share and subscribe to the channel.
Okay, so in order to download the dataset, we need to go to Kaggle.com. So Kaggle.com is a very famous website for practicing your machine learning. It consists of thousands of datasets, and also there are various hackathons and competitions that are being held on this website, through which you can practice your machine learning and data science. So in the search bar, you need to type Titanic. Click on the first search result that appears, Titanic machine learning from disaster. So the page that appears now here gives you a brief description about the competition, and I believe all of you are aware of the movie Titanic. If not, go through this page. So to download the dataset, you need to go to the data section. Here if you expand this, you can get a brief overview of the dataset, and it consists of different names that are of the different variables that are present in the dataset. Now scroll a bit down and you can find the download all option. So once you click on download all option, the different your download will start, and the dataset is divided into three parts: gender submission.csv, test.csv and train.csv. But for our tutorial, we will be only focusing on train.csv and building a model based on that. So once you have downloaded the dataset, go to your favorite IDE, Google Colab, Jupyter Notebook, or whichever is your favorite. If you are new to machine learning, then I would recommend start your data science journey with Google Colab, as it is very efficient and powerful, and also Jupyter Notebook is good. So once you open Google Colab, click on this link, click on this option to upload the dataset, and by using this upload to session storage, you can upload your dataset. As you can see, I have already uploaded my dataset train.csv. So any machine learning problem starts with importing the important libraries, and in any machine learning problem you will find these four libraries are very common. Pandas, which is used to manipulate the data frame; NumPy, which is used for handling the arrays as well as the matrices; Seaborn and Matplotlib are used for plotting interactive plots. So I have imported all of these libraries and given alias name to each of these in order to prevent writing the whole name of the library every time when I call these libraries. So once I have executed this cell, the Google Colab will import all the required libraries that I have mentioned here. Now we will read the dataset using pandas function read_csv, and will be storing the data frame into a variable named dataset. So once you have executed this cell, let us look at how the dataset looks like. So as you can see, the dataset consists of passenger ID, survived, whether the person has survived or not, P class, that is a passenger class, name of the person, sex of the person, age of the person, SIB SP is basically whether the person had or has any sibling or spouse, parch, ticket number, fare, cabin and embarked. So from this, intuitively you might have guessed that all of these features are not governing whether the person has survived or not. Like whether the person has survived or not has nothing to do with what was the person's passenger ID, or what was his name, or what was his ticket number. So we will take care of all these intuitions in the later half. Now to look at the last 5 entries in the dataset, we will use dataset.tail, and as you can see there are 890 entries in the dataset. So now let us understand a bit more about our dataset and explore it. So let us find if there are any missing values present in the dataset using dataset.isNull.sum. So what this function will do is basically give us the individual column name and along with the number of missing values present in the dataset. So as you can see, the age section consists of 177 missing values, cabin consisted of 687 missing values, and embark consisted of 2 missing values. So there are different techniques that are available for handling these missing values. One is we can delete all the rows which consists of any missing values. Although this is a very simple technique but not a very viable approach, since if we are deleting all the cells which has missing values, then essentially we are losing a lots of data, and which is not very good. So we can use this when we have like thousands and 10,000s of entries in the dataset, but definitely we will not use this for our purpose. Second is we can fill the dataset with using the mean of the data of the particular column. Also, what we can do is either we can fill the data present in the column or the row previous or after the row which of the missing value, or we can use interpolation, or we can use the trend that is available present in the particular column, and write a customized function for filling the missing values, and that is what we will be doing to take care of the missing values in the age section. But before that, let us first look whether sex, that is the gender of the person, and the passenger class depends on whether the person has survived or not. So using SNS.set style, I will be setting the graphs style to white grid, and using SNS.countPlot, which is a function present in that Seaborn library, I will be plotting a bar chart with survived on the x-axis and sex on the y-axis. Now, as you can see from the bar chart, the number of males that have not survived are very much higher as compared to the number of males that have survived. However, in the females, the opposite is the case. The number of females that have survived is very much higher than the number of females that have not survived. So from this graph, we can infer that sex is definitely a governing factor whether the person has survived or not. Similarly, let us look at what is the case with passenger class. So as you can see, there are three classes of passenger, 1, 2 and 3, and from this graph it is obvious that the number of people present in the passenger class 3 are more likely to not survive as compared to the number of people present in different other classes. So also from this graph, it is evident that passenger class is definitely a governing factor whether the person has survived or not. So we can use these trends to fill in the age section. Now let us look at what is the trend of age with respect to the passenger class. So using plt.figure, which is a matplotlib function, will be keeping a customized size of the figure, and using sns.boxplot, I will be plotting a box plot with passenger class on x-axis and age on y-axis. So as you can see from the box plot, the number of people present in passenger class 1 had an average age of about 38 years. The number of people present in passenger class 2 had an average age of about 29 years, and the number of people present in passenger class 3 had an average age of 24 years. So based on this trend, what we can do is we can write a function in which if the age of the passenger is missing, then depending on the passenger class, we can replace the missing value with the respective mean of the passenger class of the person. So for example, if the person whose age entry is missing, then we can find which passenger class does that particular person belong to, and if the person belongs to, let's say, passenger class 1, then we can replace the missing value with 38 years, and similarly for different passenger classes. So now let us write a function that will do so. So def, that is function definition, fill age, which will take column as the argument, and it will consists of two columns. The first column will be the age column, and the second column will be the passenger class column. Now if the if the age of that particular column is none or missing, then based on different passenger class, it will return or assign the age to the particular mean of the passenger class that we found above. So if the person belongs to passenger class 1, then it will return 38 years. If the person belongs to passenger class 2, it will return 29 years, or it will return 24 years. So once we have executed this function, we will get the age of different missing values present in the data set. So now let us apply this function using in the data set of age, and we will be passing age and p class to the fill age function, and it will apply to the data set of age column. Now let us look at the number of missing values present. So as you can see, now there are no missing value present in the age column. However, there are still 687 missing values in the cabin column. Now also, one thing is also very sure, that the number of people that have survived or not will definitely not depend on whether the person belong to a particular cabin or not. So we'll go forward and drop the cabin section or the cabin column. So once we have dropped the cabin column, now let us look at the different missing values present in the section. So there are no missing values present in the section. However, there are two embarked missing values which will keep as it is, as it won't hinder or cause any problem in our model. So now let us take care of the categorical features, which are the non-numerical entries present in the column, like the age, like the sex and the name of the and the embarked. So from sklearn.preprocessing library, I will be importing label encoder, which will use for encoding the sex, and we can use the label encoder only when there are two categories or two numerical non-numerical values present in a particular column. So we can use this for age as the for sex, as the sex of the person could be male or female. So once I apply the label encoder to the age sex of the data set, now we will use pandas function get dummies for encoding the embarked section, since there are different embarked values present in the data set. So using pd.getDummies, I will be applying this function to the embarked column, and I will be dropping the first row, that is the heading of the embarked. So once I have executed this cell, I will drop all the other irrelevant features that are present in the dataset, like the embarked, since we have already executed the embarked section to the dataset and stored it in embarked column. Name, ticket, fare and passenger ID are also not a very strong governing factors for whether the person has survived or not. Now let us look at the head of the dataset. So as you can see that now the dataset has been streamlined to survived column, passenger class, sex, age, whether the person has siblings or spouse, and parch. Now let us concatenate the embark which we used and executed using getDummies into the dataset. Now if we look at the dataset, as you can see, the embarked had 3 embarkments, P, Q and S, and the getDummies had served its purpose of whether the person belonged to Q embarkment or S embarkment. If both are 0, then the person belonged to the P embarkment. Now let us look at the different null values that are present in the dataset. So as you can see, there are no missing values. Also we will drop the survived and store it in Y, and X will consist of all the other features except the person has survived or not. This is done so in order to split the dataset into training set and the testing set, also separating the dependent and the independent features. Now let us split the dataset into training set and the testing set using sklearn.model selection library, and we'll be importing train test split. So xtrain is basically the independent features training set, xtest is a independent features testing set, ytrain in the dependent features training set, and ytest is a dependent features testing set, and it will require x and y as 2 of the arguments. Test size we'll be using 30% of the data set for testing purpose and rest 70% for training. And so from sklearn.linear model we'll be importing logistic regression for classification problem. Now I'll be storing the calling the logistic regression and storing it in the classifier name named variable, and using classifier.fit will be fitting the X train and the Y train. Now let us predict let me run the previous cells first. So using classifier.predict function will be predicting the results of the X test and storing it in YPred, and in order to see the different results we'll be concatenating the YPred, that is the predicted results, with YTest, that are the actual results, side by side. So as you can see, the left column shows the predicted results and the right column shows the testing results, which are the actual, whether the person has survived or not. And as you can see, the classifier has performed its task very well. Now in order to look at the accuracy and the performance of the column, we'll be printing the confusion matrix, which will show us how many correct and incorrect predictions the classifier has made. So as you can see, the classifier has made 135 correct predictions about whether about the person that have not survived, and 77 correct predictions for the person that have survived. And in order to look at the accuracy score, as you can see, that the accuracy of the classifier which we built is 79%. Although this accuracy is not up to the mark, but we can use different classifier techniques like SVM, kernel SVM, random forest classifier, decision tree classifier, etc., etc., in order to predict score and whether the person has survived or not. So that was all about for this video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and do like and subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.